Hey there. So I am here for another update to the 6-month challenge. This is going to be the second and third month update because I missed the second month update. So for August and September, how it's going, where there's been successes, where there's been failures, and any pivots. And spoiler alert, plenty of pivots. Hey there, Amy Kennedy here, the Creative Crone, and today we're stepping into our crone years by digging back into a challenge. All right, I had four goals that I wanted to, well, not four goals, four buckets that I was working on. One was writing, one was connections, one was my health, and one was this channel, YouTube. So I'm going to do two together, writing and YouTube. I'm actually going to do that update together. So for writing, my edits are going very well. I'm still doing the paper edits. I am, woo, look at that. This is done. So for paper edits, that portion is done. I still have 35 pages to go, which is great. I think that's absolutely great. I feel like I'm ahead of the curve on the paper edits. I've actually started documenting in the manuscript online. So I'm about 70 pages in online, in digital, whatever, in my manuscript on my laptop. Goodness gracious. So feel really good about that. Plus, talk about pivots. Oh my goodness, I feel like I have just had so many ideas by doing the paper edit and was able to just like stream of consciousness write those things down. So that feels really good. And since it's now actually October 2nd, since it's October, that is always a very expectational month for me. I always feel like great adventures happen this time of the year. I think of the hobbits starting out on their adventure in the fall. I just always think of that. I don't know if it's true or not. Don't tell me if it's not true because I don't want to hear it. Great adventures start in the fall. And since November used to be National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, which that organization no longer exists, but I think it was ingrained in so many of us to always either start or continue or complete a writing project in the month of November. October is the preparation month then. And there are actually some folks who are doing a 90-day novel writing event at this point in the year. Why did I sound like that? I don't know. So October, November, and December. So for me, I really want to finish the paper edits before the end of October. I should be able to do 35 pages, in a day if I really focus. So feeling really good about that. I want to be in a good position as far as my manuscript goes, but I'm also starting the second book in the series. And so I'm thinking for November, I just want to be, once again, stream of consciousness, writing that for November without any edits, just straight through, right? So, okay, writing. Now, the reason why I'm doing writing and YouTube together is that there is a reason why I'm doing it together, and hopefully it'll make sense. YouTube has always been this extra thing, right? Sort of a different side of me, a different part, one that I could never really lay my finger on what it was I was talking about. So sometimes it would be makeup or styling my hair or how to start your morning right or 5 habits that have really helped me. So it just was kind of all over the place, which, I guess technically I'm all over the place, but that's neither here nor there for right now. So for YouTube, it is going to be a large pivot. I am finally melding my YouTube channel with my number one dream of being a full-time writer. And while I am looking at retirement in 6 months, knock on wood, and could indeed be a full-time writer then, I want to have practiced it. So in other words, I want it to be something that I am already good at. Now, obviously, a full-time writer is not the same thing as a full-time employee. It is not 40 hours a week. I don't know anyone who can write 8 hours straight a day, except for, a half-hour lunch and 2 15-minute breaks. It's still, I don't know anyone. On a really great day for me, like if I'm on a writing retreat, either at our neighbor's cabin, or if I've gone out of town with a friend and who also writes, and we're just writing and walking, which is typically what we do, because one helps the other. Even then, I would say the most I do for one solid time frame is typically 2 hours. Now, if I am doing a retreat, I can do 2 hours, an hour break of maybe walking or swimming or whatever the case may be. And then I could do another hour and then maybe eat something, and then I could do another hour. So potentially I could do 4 hours, but honestly, that is the tip top uppermost that I could see for myself right now. Maybe that'll change. Who knows? Maybe I'll retire and say, oh yes, I adore writing 6, 7, 8 hours a day, but I don't think it's possible for me. Okay, I have rambled for a long time. So what that means for YouTube, stay on track, Amy, is I am finally melding the YouTube channel with my dream goal of being a writer, a full-time writer. So YouTube is not, for me, I am now entering the beautiful world of AuthorTube. So if you have been here because of makeup or habits or little tips or, how to start your morning right, those will still be a little part of it, but for the most part, it will be writing, creativity, and also the aging aspect as well, because I don't want to forget about the crone aspect, but I also think that it would be super interesting to tie all those things into the act of creativity, of writing, of trying to become an author, and what that means, and potentially what that means for someone of a certain age. I don't know why I said it like that. So I'm how old am I? I'm 66. I'll be 67 in 2 months. Very shortly, I'll be 67. And so much closer to 70 than I am to 60. And that is okay. And so I just want to see, I haven't seen other older authors on YouTube. Once I do this, I probably will. And I think that's great. I find value in following people of all ages. And so anyways, hope you continue to follow me here. My next bucket was connections, that I just really wanted to strengthen my connections and be more intentional with my connections, never wanting it to feel transactional. And so one small pivot with this is that I don't think I want to be like, oh, I have 3 connections I want to make this month and I did 4, because that starts to sound like an MLM or something, like how many connections can you make, and just ask people out for coffee. And so I don't want it to be that. So I think just basically the pivot for this is that I still want to be intentional about it, because it means a lot to me to stay in close contact with my friends, and then to, of course, continuously just be in contact with my adult children. And goodness gracious, she's an adult, my adult granddaughter. So, so instead of saying, oh, I had 3 and I did 4, I'm just going to say I feel really good about what I did. So for August, I feel good about the connections that were made, and in fact, even had a really good conversation with another writer who is a published author. And we talked about the feeling that I might be having where I feel like it's transactional instead of more friendship. And we had a great conversation about that, so I love that. And then in September, just had wonderful lunches with friends and with one of my children. And so that was really great. So I guess I'm kind of telling you how many. But for October, it's a little bit of a pivot because I also, for October, just all of a sudden decided, along with this 6-month challenge, to do an autumn bucket list. Because why not? Autumn is my favorite season. Now, I love every season and I can enjoy every season and be outside. But like I said in the beginning, autumn is the start of a great adventure for me, always. And so I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to actually do things intentionally? So I signed up for I thought I signed up for a moonlight walk. It turned out I just joined the group and then never actually signed up for the walk, and now it's a wait list. But my friend and I have decided that maybe we'll just do it on our own. But I also signed up for a different hike, sort of creature hike, and that also is at night, so that'll be fun. And then I just reached out to a friend and said, do you want to do this with me? And even if she didn't, I still would have done it because it's a different kind of connection, right? It's a connection with people you don't know, potentially, and also a connection with nature. And so I really love that. So I'm going to be keeping that in, like, to just check those things out, to have more hikes. And I'm also already planning on, during retirement, there's plenty of hikes during the day and in the morning that I think I'd love to do, which also coincides with health. However, before I go there, the other thing I also did was signed up for 3 free library programs that all have to do with writing. Now, super lucky here, the library system that I use and actually work for partners with The Loft, which is a well-known writing organization. And so they teach classes. So I'm taking one program that's around writing fantasy and science fiction, and then I'm taking another one on social media and another one on something else, I can't remember. So it's just another connection, and I also feel like I'm practicing retirement, which I really love. All right, 4th thing, and then I just, wow, I've rambled on, sorry. Health. So health, I am doing well with keeping up with my appointments. I just had a dentist appointment, I swore I was never going to get a shingles vaccine just because I'm a weird combination of I trust science and have a firm belief in science. But then I also have a belief in, like, but do they really know which flu strain is coming? So there's always that weird argument in my head. But a colleague got shingles, and 2 other colleagues said to me, because we're all of an age, said, have you gotten your shingles vaccine? And I was like, no, I wasn't going to. They're like, you have to, because of all these horrible things that can happen. So I got a shingles vaccine, and then I believe it's next week or the week after I get the booster, and so there's that. One of my main goals was to be able to run a mile, and I truly believe that if someone was chasing me, I could. I was doing really well with the Couch to 5K program. I think I was up to 3-minute run with a 1.5-minute rest, something like that. So I was feeling good about it. And then it got super hot. This is in August. Doesn't matter when it was. It got super hot. And literally hot in the morning. So I did not go outside. And something happens to my brain that if I stop doing something that I've actually been just kind of doing, tra-la-la, I have to do it, and then I stop doing it for a week or 2, then it's as if I never did it and I'm fine. I went out when the weather finally broke, tried to get back in my routine, and my legs felt like they were just gonna wobble off my body and go on their merry way, sitting in the grass somewhere. My lungs were on fire. It felt like my brain was jiggling. It just was not fun. Now I get that not everything is fun, but I think that at my age, why do I want to do that to myself? I don't know. So I pivoted, and now I'm doing 1 to 2 walks a day with a weighted vest, and plus I've got weights on my wrists, so I've got some strength stuff in there. I haven't started strength training, but I'm going to for the last 3 months, October, November, and December. I have the equipment, right? And suddenly the $6 million man came into my brain. We have the capability, whatever it was, but I have the equipment. I know I can do that. The walks actually have been really great because when I was doing the running, I was only running every other day. And on the off days, I wasn't even walking. So I feel like this is better and just easier for me to maintain. So I'm good with that. I haven't weighed myself in probably 3 weeks, and I'm okay with that. My clothes seem to be fitting just fine, and I'm okay with that. So there's that. In conclusion, 3 months are left. 90 days as I'm recording this. And for some reason, that actually makes me want to focus more. So I'm wondering if the 6 months was almost too much time for my brain, and 3 months feels more, what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but it's, the stakes are higher, perhaps, is how I'm feeling. And so I know I need to focus, buckle down, and really do what I say I'm going to do. So that's where we are at with my 2nd and 3rd month check-in. And then I will be seeing you in another video. I actually have a video that around grief. Oh, how fun. And then hello, AuthorTube. All right, thanks so much for being here. Like, subscribe, all the things. Actually, I'd love for you to tell me how you're doing, if you're doing any kind of a challenge, if you're doing an autumn bucket list, if you're doing, oh, there's another thing, 75 Sparkle, which I'm just flitting all over the place. And okay, thank you so much. And I will see you next time. All right, bye.